Sword Art Online, Anohana, Makia, Love Live School Idol Project, Yuki Yuna's a Hero, Fully Coolly Progressive. I'm also in games such as Hyperdimension Neptunia, Atelier Meru, Legends of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2 and 3, Smite, Paladins, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Persona 5, River City Girls, and Fire Emblem Heroes and Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So, yay! Thank you all for being here. Welcome to voiceover audition tips. Whether you're auditioning for animation, video games, commercials, I hope that you can apply these steps to help you prep for those auditions for when you do them at home. Because a lot of times nowadays, very rarely do you get to go into a studio and audition. You're doing a lot of it at home. So learning how to self-direct is a really good skill to have. So before you start any kind of recording at all, it's always important to kind of read through the script and read through to see if there's any other information you can find out about the project. So sometimes they give you a description, or they tell you about the genre, the tone, or if there's other sides for other characters. I think it's really important to read through all of those too, even though it's like a lot of reading and it's like, you know, it's a lot of work, but I think it's really important to make sure that you are well informed. So, and like for instance, for me, like a lot of times, if I'm lucky, if I just do a Google search, sometimes there'll be information there, or pictures, or just any other additional information. So, there's oftentimes, when you look up stuff, there is no information, and it is very open. Sometimes directors aren't sure what it is they want, so at that time, it's really important for you to be able to fill in the gaps yourself. So you can kind of like create a lot of other additional information that'll help you inform your own reads. So the things that I want to pay attention to particularly today is, who am I? Who am I talking to? What is it that I want right now that's in this scene? And where am I? So if you answer those 4 questions, I will guarantee you that your auditions will be so much more interesting, and they will stand out more because you are very invested in what's happening in that moment. So first off, who am I? Who is this character that I'm playing? How old are they? Where have they lived their whole life? What is their past? You know, what has happened to them? What is their attitude towards life? I mean, are they like happy-go-lucky? They've had a very good upbringing, they have lots of friends and family, or are they on the opposite side of the spectrum? Are they somebody that has been ostracized? They have no family, they have no friends. You know, like just knowing like where they come from will help you in, you know, with how you're going to read and portray them to the world. Secondly, who am I talking to? Who is your character talking to in this scene? Is it somebody that they know? Is it one person? Is it 2 people? Is it a group of people? Is it somebody that they have a crush on, that, you know, they're shy to talk to? Or is it somebody that they hate? You know, they're rivals, they've been rivals all their lives, you know, they're gonna talk to them very differently than to somebody they like, right? Or if it's somebody that's like their grandmother, that they, you know, that is very sick, you're gonna talk to her very differently than if you're gonna talk to like your best friend that you guys joke around and say all sorts of dumb stuff to each other. So it's really important to know who it is that your character is talking to. Third, what is it that I want right now? Why are you saying these things? Well, if you say this thing, what is going to happen? Or what is it that you want to happen? Like, say for example, like if you're talking to your crush, maybe you're building things up to maybe asking them on a date. And like what you're hoping for is that they will go on the date with you. So how do you say this so that they will say yes? Or is it like, for comedic effect, is it you're trying to get them to say yes, but you're so nervous that it just all kind of crumbles apart? So I think it's an interesting dynamic to know like what it is that you want in this particular moment. You know, and you know, it could be just about anything. And then lastly, know where you are. Where am I in this moment? What's happening around you. So this can really help you figure out like distance. That's really important. So if they're right next to you, you're just gonna have like a normal conversation. Whereas they're like somewhere like far away and you need to like catch up to them, you're gonna be like, wait for me! You know, you would like yell at them. So it's really different than if you're like close, you know, you gotta think about proximity, you gotta think about what's happening in the scene. So if you're, let's say if you're like running and hiding, you're gonna start whispering, right? You're not gonna like speak real at normal tone and then like get caught. So you wanna think about where it is you are and what's happening around you. All right, so just to review, think about who you are, who am I talking to, what is it I want in this scene, and where am I? So usually at this point I would have everybody kind of participate. It's a little loud, but I think we can do it. Let's see, can somebody read line 1 for me? Or like, actually, can I have somebody read the description for the character? Oh, okay. Okay, really quick. Somebody come up and read the description. That's okay. You can come up and read line 1, yeah. Read the description, please. So read his name and then this part right here.
Okay.
Yes.
Daiki is a bright, upbeat young man that is full of energy and responds to situation with determination, choosing to take problems head on. He's very helpful and protective of his friends, and harming them is the one thing that can make him angry.
Thank you. Yes. And so, you know, just reading the description, we can get a lot of information about who Daiki is. So there's keywords such as, you know, bright, upbeat, young, energetic, determined, helpful, protective. So, you know, it's a good combination of what you would believe to be probably like a shonen anime protagonist. Yay! So, can I have somebody read line 1? I know you were up here. Let's have you read one. Thank you. I'm just going to volunteer you. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Whoa, that came from the forest. We should go check to see if everything's all right.
Line 2? Anybody? Line 2? Anybody? Yeah.
Oh, sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion or something in this direction.
Perfect. Thank you. Line 3? Yeah.
That was a flare they just sent off. We need to get here before the reinforcements come.
Perfect. And line 4? Anybody? Yes.
No, I can't just stand by while someone's being taken against their will. If you don't let her go, then I just have to get serious.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry for the typo in there. And then line 5. Yes. Might want to hold it a little away from your mouth if you're going to be loud.
Flaming Dragon Sword!
Woo! I love your commitment at that. Thank you. It's always hard. It's you always want to go as far as you can and then have the director bring you back, because if you're like, Flaming Dragon Sword, it's really hard for the director to kind of like, you know, little bump up your energy, please. So, all right, so with the lines, we can definitely see that he wants to be helpful and protective, because in the first line, he hears this noise from somewhere, and he's like, his first instinct is to go and see if they can help whoever may be in trouble. And then in line 2, we know that he's like very kind and very sincere, because he finds this person and then he asks if they're all right. You know, he apologizes for scaring them, but you know, he's just like, you know, I just wanted to see what was going on over here and maybe help out. And then with the remaining lines, we can see that he's getting ready to defend someone, protect them, or to, you know, get ready to fight. So we know that he is, you know, like very protective and very, very determined at it too. And now, I think we know that what he wants is to be a very good person, to help other people. So that would be, I would say that would be like his main overarching goal. He probably has little goals in between, but that would be his like main thing. All right, and then let's see. Now, now that we know kind of who he is and what is it that he wants, let's figure out who he is talking to. Now, would you guys say it's the same person throughout, or do you think it could be different people throughout? Different people. I would say so too. I mean, it's possible that it could be the same person, but I kind of doubt it unless it's like a crazy like plot twist, like right in the first couple lines. But just to be on the safe side, I would say that it is different people. Who do you think he would be talking to in line 1? And it's very loud. Sorry. Anybody shout it out? Huh? Like a partner, a friend, or maybe a companion that's with him that he could be talking to. What about line 2? Do you guys think it's the same person as line 1, or possibly a new person? New person, yes, because he startled them. So if it was somebody that was with him, he probably wouldn't have scared them. It's probably somebody new that he's trying to get information from. And then line 3, you think it's the same person as line 2 and 1, maybe? Yes? Yeah? I think so too. Yeah, it could be a continuation from the scene that's happening in line 2. What about line 4 and 5? You guys think that's somebody new? Or like, possibly? Yeah. What was that? Enemy? Yeah, it could be an enemy. It could be somebody that they think is not safe, that they want to defend themselves from. Great. So now we know like who he is, what he wants in life, and who the different people that he's talking to. Where do you think the guy is? Where do you think he is? Is he in the same place throughout the whole thing, or is it different places? What was that? A forest near a factory. It's very specific. Yes. So maybe different places, maybe inside the factory, maybe inside the forest, maybe it's somewhere in between. There's no right or wrong answers, really. But yeah. Okay, so now that we have an idea of the specifics, would anybody like to come try it out? I'm sorry, this is for demonstration purposes only. Anybody? Yeah. Come on up, Alex. Woo! Thank you. Now, would you, because I know he is an experienced actor, I'm going to just kind of jump in with you. And this is how I usually like to have do this part of the workshop now, is to have other people come up, and then I'm going to ask you for your specifics so that it's something that you relate to and that you can connect with, so that when you do your audition, it's going to sound different from everybody else's.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, if you don't think of your specifics, you're probably going to give a read that sounds like everybody else. And that's very common. So you want to do something that kind of makes you stand out a little bit without going overboard, within reason. But, all right, so I'm going to start from the beginning with you.
Okay.
Tell me about Daiki. About what age do you think he is?
He strikes me as being, they market his teen, so that gives me a clear range to work from. I would expect him to be somewhere in the range of late teens.
Late teens,
So maybe
okay.
somewhere from 16 to 18, maybe verging on 19.
Okay, so 16 to 18. So tell me, tell me about Daiki. Where is he right now?
So, starting, it seems like he's almost in a place of comfort, like maybe his own home, or
Okay.
something like that, or
So he's at
somewhere,
home?
somewhere nearby, somewhere he doesn't feel particularly in danger at the very beginning.
Okay.
And he hears something happening in the nearby forest.
Okay. Can you guys hear what he's saying?
Yeah,
by the way?
it's just,
Okay.
it's good. Okay.
Sorry, now we're competing over there. Okay, so he's at home. Where in his house is he?
I'd like to imagine he's on the patio because he's outside enough he can hear what's
Okay,
going on out.
on his patio. So if it's his house, has he lived here his whole life? Has he just moved there recently? Is it his house?
I'm going to assume that it's not necessarily his house, given that he's a teen. He probably doesn't have quite as many adult responsibilities as your average teen.
Okay, but has he lived in this home his whole life?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say he has. Is what it's come.
Cool. And would you say that I'm just trying to get a little bit more information about Daiki from you. So let's talk about his upbringing. Do you think that he is like, what kind of skills does he have? Do you think he's like a fighter type, warrior type?
He's definitely a fighter type of some variety, as we know from Line 5, Flaming Dragon Sword. So he has some techniques.
So sword techniques. Is he very experienced? Has he been training his whole life, or is this something that he just kind of recently stumbled into?
I'm going to imagine he's got a few years experience, but he's got some ways to go.
All right. So he's like on the verge of becoming a...
He's ready to prove that he can do things, even if he can't necessarily do everything.
Okay, awesome. All right, so who is Daiki talking to in line 1?
In line 1, I imagine he is hanging with his best friend.
Best friend, and they're both on the patio just hanging out right now? Okay, and then what about line 2?
In line 2, this strikes me as a stranger. This is somebody who is at the place where the explosion was heard.
Okay, and where did they go to after the explosion from the patio?
So they went into the forest.
Into the forest?
Where the noise was.
Okay, and this person that they find, is it a male, female?
I'm going to go with
female. About how old?
I'm going to say probably same age.
Same age.
Yeah.
Okay, so late teens.
Fellow teen.
Okay. Possible romance. What about line 3?
Line 3 strikes me as being back to the best friend. Maybe in this case they're in an exposed environment. They know they're surrounded by enemies, so they don't necessarily want to give their place away. This is where a certain amount of whispering might be necessary.
Yes.
Because they don't want to give away their position. Oh, they just set up a flare.
I love that. And so this is in an exposed area of the forest.
Correct.
Okay. And then what about line 4 and 5?
So line 4 is, at first you might think that might be him saying, like expressing his desire to help everybody, but because the line continues on to address you as whoever you is, has somebody captive. Let's say the stranger that he met and is now, helping, taking care of. This is clearly, the moment before, to me at least, is he's been told to walk away, little man. He's been told, give this up. You don't want any part of this.
Can you tell me about this stranger person?
So the stranger from line 2 in this case is who I'm thinking of, is the one that has been taken captive by the enemy in line 4.
So what about the enemy? What does the enemy look like? How old are they?
I would imagine this is somebody in maybe their late 30s and is rather physically powerful looking.
Oh.
Yeah, I would imagine very intimidating.
Male, female?
I'm going to say male.
All right. Very scary looking guy.
Exactly.
He's got the girl and you gotta bring her back.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. I think we have all our specifics. Can we do a read through?
We certainly can.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Whoa! That came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's all right. To startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion or something in this direction. That was a flare they sent off. We need to get out of here before the reinforcements arrive. No! I can't just stand by while someone's being taken against their will. If you don't let her go, then I'll just have to get serious. Flaming Dragon Sword!
That was incredible. Yeah, I don't really know if I have any notes really. Just for fun, why don't we change some of the circuits, some things around, just to have fun. Because that was a really great take. What can we do differently? Okay, so since seems kind of headstrong, why don't we in line 1, where you say like, whoa, that came from the forest, and you say like, when you're saying we should go check and see if everything's all right, what if you've already like started running off? You're just like, we gotta go help, and, and so your friend is just like, what?
Whoa! That just came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's all right.
So exciting, I love it. And then, just for fun, let's see.
What if he literally stumbles over her in line 2? At the very beginning, there's a pratfall.
That is hilarious. Yes, let's try that out.
Sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion or something in this direction.
Yes. Oh, that's so great. He was startled, but he thought she was startled.
Exactly.
Yes. Great. Thank you so much. Great job. Thank you for reading first. It's always hard to be the first one.
Thank you.
Great. Who's up next? Come on up. All right. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Tell me about Daiki. About how old do you think he is?
Well, it says teen, so he has to be teen age. So I'm going to say the upper teens around 17, 18.
17, 18?
19.
Okay. So a little bit more older, more experienced. So tell me about him. What about his past? Where is he? Has he lived here for a long time? Is he traveling?
He's a little bit old school, regardless of his young age, but he's like a police officer that holds a sword.
Okay, so he is part of the law enforcement, even though he is young, because maybe he's got like some skills and stuff. I like that. Police officer. Okay, and so where are we at line 1? Where is he?
He's on his normal patrol with a friend.
Okay, so they're patrolling a city, a town?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and what about line 2?
As he rushes towards the explosion, he runs into something that's going to be later in the plot, but we don't know that.
Okay. Where did he run to for the explosion? Did it happen within the city?
It was on the edge of the city.
Okay,
A little bit more remote.
Where was he at the beginning then? Is he in the center, on the opposite
He was
side?
driving on the side at the edge of the city.
Okay, so they're in a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a car? Is it a modern day?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's what
he
makes it
and his buddy, they're on patrol, and then they hear the explosion and they drive over there. Okay, and then what about line 3? Where are they then?
They're still rushing towards it, but they notice the flare. It's like, oh man, that's another police troop.
Okay.
That's like, oh, we gotta go now. Now.
Okay, so then they're still on their way to where the explosion happened. So they're on the way. Okay. And then what about 4 and 5? Are they still in the same location? Did they reach their destination where the
They're
explosion
reaching
was?
the destination, but the villain is right there, and they got like a hostage. Okay, get down. We got this.
All right. Really high stakes here. And so let's talk about who he's talking to. You kind of touched on it a little bit. So line 1, it's to his buddy in the car with him.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And then what about line 2? Who did he startled?
I don't know.
A pedestrian
Do you
of
think it
some
should be a boy or a
kind?
girl that he runs into, people? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You, what do you think? Girl.
A girl?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it like, how old is this girl that you're talking to? Very young?
Let's make it a little girl.
A little girl. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're still in your car at this point, right?
Oh, we ran out of the car because
You're out of your car. Okay, so she's like running and you saw her.
Little lost girl, probably. I don't know. I so happened to run. There was bushes. Whoops. All over. Whoops.
Okay. And then hopefully she gets taken to safety, but we don't know because we're skipping to another scene. All right, and then you said you get back in your car for line 3, right?
No, we see the flare, and then we just go even faster than our current pace. That means that we have to, like,
So you're on
this
foot?
little girl has to go straight to this.
Okay.
We just need to It's like red alert, red alert.
Okay, so at this point you're on foot though. You're not in your car anymore at line 3? Okay. And then, so on line 3 you're talking to your partner or you're talking to your walkie-talkie maybe? Or?
My partner.
Okay.
Is, maybe they're a little bit newer than me.
Okay, so he's a rookie and he's tagging along. You're gonna show him the ropes because you're more experienced at age 17, 18.
It's anime.
That's true, very anime. And what about line 4 and 5? Who are you talking to then?
We're arriving on the scene on 4, saying,
Okay.
this is like my declaration. It's like, you stop. I do bad things to you. You don't.
All right, so it's the criminal. You're directly. Yes.
Straight up
love
to
it.
their face.
And then because of anime reasons, you have a flaming dragon sword because cops don't.
Down.
They don't use guns. They use swords.
Yes.
I love it. Perfect. I think we have all the information. Let's give it a run through. Yes, please.
Whoa. That came from the forest. You should check in and see if everything is all right. Oh, sorry. Are you okay? It sounds like there was an explosion or something in that direction. They just set off a flare. We need to get there and before the reinforcements arrive. No! I can't just stand here and let someone be taken against their will. If you don't let her go, I'll have to get serious. Flaming Dragon Sword!
No, good job. Yes. So, no, you can't leave yet. I mean, I'd like for you to play some more. Let's do one more pass. I'll just give you some notes, and then I want to see just to see how you incorporate that. You did a really good job there. I really like your circumstances and the story that you've created here. I think, just because you made him a police officer and because he seems like very experienced, I want to add that a little bit to his voice because right now you do make him sound very young, but like if he's like trying to be the strong one to train,
voice or something?
you don't even need to do that. It doesn't have to be like a lower voice because he is only like 17, 18, but he needs to have authority in his voice because he is a law enforcer. So, and also he has a rookie with him that's being shown the ropes. So you need to be more confident when you're talking about stuff. So even in the beginning when you said like, we should go check and see if everything's all right, you need to say like, all right, we're on the move, you know, like, and you're still in your car, so you wouldn't be like really like shouting that out because he's like right there, you know, like blow his ears up. I mean, I know like, maybe the sirens are going off and it's a little bit loud, but you're just really like, all right, copy that kind of attitude when you say that. And then, again with the little girl, you know, if she's scared, you probably want to take a moment and just be like, oh, you know, like be very like sweet to her. You know, yeah. So you don't want to, if she's already scared, you don't want to like be that scary police officer, you know, like, and then she's gonna be more scared. So you want to like be gentle with her, you know, like, sorry, I can't help you right now. There's like this explosion, but you know, like, you know, still be nice to her. And then, let's see. I think you did great for these other lines. So maybe just those first two for me again, just to kind of show that police officer side to him, just so I can, you know, like have authority in your voice. You don't have to like put on like a deeper voice, just put the attitude on there.
Okay. Whoa. There was that came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's all right.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounds like there's an explosion there in that direction.
Nice. Let's try it one more time for line 2 because I like that you stopped and you were really nice to her, but it took away the urgency of the situation of everything that's happening around you. So even though you're like, you know, like you're stopping to talk to her because you know, you're the good cop, but at the same time you're like, I'm sorry, but I must move on. So it has to have that kind of like, I'm sorry,
A
but
little bit of panic.
Yeah,
But trying to control it.
yeah, there's a certain like heightened intensity to it.
Sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounds like there's an explosion in that direction.
All right. Thank you. Good job. Anybody else? Can we get a lady up here? Anybody? Any ladies? Yes, Pomona. All right. So, tell me about Daiki. Are you going to play Daiki as a boy, or make femme Daiki? Femme Daiki. Okay. So, tell me about her. Is she? What age is she for you? Oh, I'll need you to speak in the mic so everybody else can hear you. Younger teen? About what age? 15. Okay. And tell me about her upbringing. Where are we?
It's kind of out of the chaotic upbringing. It's now like an adventure, like wandering the land.
Okay, so she's a traveler, adventurer, so she's been out on the road for a while. Okay. Tell me about where. Where she is right now, is it a new place that she's in? She's never been here before?
Yeah, this is a new place.
Okay. It's in town, you said? Okay. Is that for line 1 where they're just like kind of in town? Where in town do you think they are? Are they inside, outside, somewhere?
Kind of like by like the entrance sitting down.
By an entrance sitting down? So like maybe entrance of their like where their accommodations for the day? Okay. All right, and what about line 2? So, okay, after the explosion, they run into the forest to see what's going on. What about line 3? Are they still in the forest at that point? Okay, and then line 4 and 5, are they still in the forest? Are they outside?
They ran off to like investigate origin of the flare.
Okay, so they saw the flare there, so they went to where that flare may have come from. Would that still be within the forest, or is it a clearing, or is it outside the forest?
It's
In a clearing within the forest. Okay. And let's see. So, who is Daiki with? Does Daiki travel alone, or does she have a companion?
it's like a traveling adventure.
So they have like a group of people. Okay, so she's with a bunch of people. Are they all with her when she's hanging out in line 1?
Yes.
Okay, so they're just resting, hanging out, and then do they all run into the forest together?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so they go as a team into the forest, and then are you talking to your team, or is it to somebody new in line 2?
In line 2, it's someone.
Was that?
It's someone new.
Somebody new, somebody they just discovered. Okay. And what about line 3?
You're talking to them.
Okay, so she's talking to their teammate, all the teammates, everybody there. What about line 4 and 5? Okay, so they've encountered somebody new, very scary. Can you tell me about this villain? Is it male, female? Female sorceress. I love that. Okay. Is she alone? Does she have like a team with her too? Okay, so she had minions, but they had the Daiki's teammates had already like conquered all of them, and they're facing off with this evil sorceress. Awesome. And then, did I ask you about? So for line 2, you said you were talking to somebody new that they discovered. Can you tell me about this person they found? Okay, so it's an older, injured man that was fighting the sorceress, but now he had to get away because he was too injured. Perfect. Cool. So in line 4, just to clarify, who is is it that who is it that was taken against their will that you're trying to get back? Is it a teammate? Old man's granddaughter. Okay, so that's why he was fighting the sorceress in the first place, because the daughter was taken. Granddaughter was taken captive. So now you guys have, oh my god, to help him get his granddaughter back. I love this. All right, cool. I think that's all the information we need. We're good to go. And speaking to the mic, you hold it flat like this.
Whoa, that came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's alright. Oh, sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion or something in this direction. There's a flare they just sent off. We need to get out of here before there are reinforcements arrive. No, I can't just stand by while someone is being taken against their will. You don't let her go, I'll just have to get serious. Flaming Dragon Sword!
Good job. Can we make some suggestions just to try something different out? That was a really great read. Let's see. For line 4, I'm really need to it's like weird echo. For line 4, why don't we? Because it sounds like you're talking to your teammates the whole time. What if for the first part, no, I can't just stand by when someone's taken against their will. You say that to your teammate, and then you say the second half to the sorceress. So it'll change your perspective to here and then there. And then for line 2, I want you to really take in the condition of the old man that you've discovered and be really soft with him, when you're asking him if he's okay and all that, just to really take a moment, we're off to investigate that thing, but you clearly need more help right now, so I'm going to focus my attention on you. And that's it. I think maybe let's try this too, just to see how different, if they sound any different at all.
Oh, sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion. No, I can't just stand by while someone's being taken against their will. If you don't let her go, I'll just have to get serious.
Nice. Great job. Thank you. Can you tell me about Daiki?
So I think Daiki is like a 15-year-old kid. It's more of like a mirror or like early Dark Ages. He's like a farm boy.
Farm boy, okay.
And that's where he is in the first line. He's maybe like in the field with his friend.
Okay.
Like towing, pulling weed, I don't know, something like that. Whatever farmers do.
Is his friend also like a farmer type too?
Yeah.
They grew up together?
Yeah, I think they grew up together. I want to say he's maybe an orphan, so maybe like this is his new family now.
Okay.
He's in a war period.
Okay, so he's living with his best friend.
family.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And then, so where did the two of them go for line 2?
So, obviously they're going into like a forest area. I want to believe maybe there's like some more value there. So maybe like, the explosion or whatever is causing it. I'm gonna say it's explosion. It's coming like they know there's like a lumber camp out there, and it's like, maybe people are hurt.
Okay.
The spirit of wanting to help people is let's go see if they're hurt.
Great. Yeah. And then, what about line 3? Are they still in the forest at that point? Are they at the lumber mill?
I want to believe this is in the same like conversation as 2.
Okay.
So he goes out there thinking like it's an accident, but it's not an accident. This is maybe some act of war or attack. So when he finds this child, this girl will say, based on the later lines, and sees this flare and he's kind of explaining to her like, we need to go. Like he's like a much younger child than he is. Like, come on, let me help you. Like we need to go.
Tell me about the child. Is it you said it was a her, so it was a girl?
I'm basing off the 4th line, so I'm gonna say it's like a girl, maybe 7 years old.
7 years old.
I want to believe when he comes across her, maybe she's like got the dirt on her face, maybe some bruises on her legs, and she's very defensive. She's not maybe scared, but she's maybe afraid of me as I am of like, oh, that I scared her. So I'm trying to maybe like win her over. Like, no, it's okay. Like I'm here to help.
You know, that wounded animal kind of like,
Yeah.
don't come closer,
Yeah,
I'll
like
get
she
you.
might scratch me honestly if I make the wrong move.
I like that. And then, so, okay, you said 2 and 3 are the same area. What about 4 and 5? Where are they at that point?
I'm thinking maybe 4 and 5 is back in the village, not at the farm. You know, I'm just in the village for now. And this girl is somehow important, and someone from this other army has now come to take her. And now I can't. Maybe it's something about like having lost my family, or like someone to take away from someone else. So even though that's my better will, I'm gonna try to help her. And I'm gonna say that the guy isn't taking me very seriously. It's not even like I'll kill you. It's like no, just like don't try, kid. Like
I like that. I love that you have like a really great character motivation as well with the backstory. So about the bad guy that has the girl now, is it like would you say it's a soldier, a knight type person?
I'm gonna say maybe he's someone I've heard of. You know, maybe he's not a hero, but he's a famous villain, maybe a general of the army or something like that.
Somebody that not everybody trusts.
Yeah, he's not, maybe not as much physically like imposing, but he's got like a rap. Like it's like no, like I know what the situation is, but something in me says I need to help her. Maybe this army is responsible for whatever happened to my family, so maybe there's something about that there, or like I don't want to let that happen again.
Great. Yes. Well, I think we pretty much hit all the information. We know who we're talking to. We know where we are. And you told me about like these motivation. Good. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, let's do a pass.
Whoa, that came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's all right. Oh, sorry to startle you. Are you okay? It sounded like there was an explosion or something in this direction. That was a flare they just sent off. We need to get out of here before the reinforcements arrive. No, I can't just stand by while someone's being taken against their will. If you don't let her go, then I'll just have to get serious. Flaming Dragon Sword!
I wonder where this farm boy got this flaming dragon sword.
It's a family heirloom.
Oh, there
It's
we
the
go.
one thing.
He's been hiding it this whole time. He didn't want his adopted family to find out. Great job. Just for fun, let's try out some other lines and see with different other things and
Motivations?
Yeah, let's play around.
Yeah.
Just for fun, because that was really great. What if for line 4, what if you're like, let's add a little bit of emotion to it. So what if your friend is like doing the thing where he's like holding you back, and you're like, and they're like, no, you're just a farm boy. You can't fight against like this like legendary, like he's gonna kill you. You're like a nobody. So your friend's holding you back, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna do this thing because it's the right thing to do because nobody else has the guts to do it. And then like, so you are struggling for that first half, and then you break free of him for the next part when you say, if you don't let her go, you'll talk to like the infamous dude. And then let's see. What if for line 4? You say you were plowing. What if you, it's like midday, you've been working for a couple hours, you're tired. So you're just like slightly out of breath for the first time, like, whoa. Just to kind of like show that you were actually like actively working. So you're just not just like, like you're not tired at all because so just add a little bit of like that to it so that they know what's happening in this moment that you've created. And then like give it a moment where it's like back into the forest. It's like you throw your shovel down or your hoe or whatever it is that you're like plowing with. I don't know. I am not an outdoor person.
I'm right there with you.
So you throw your thing down and then you can declare that you're gonna go and find out what's happening over there. So for line 1 and line 4.
Whoa. That came from the forest. We should go check and see if everything's all right. No! I can't just stand by while someone's being taken against their will! If you don't let her go, then I'll just have to get serious!
Thank you for adding in like the movement. That's really important too, guys. Like if you can add any kind of efforts like breathing or laughing and stuff like that, just to add a little bit of flair to like your reads, it makes you stand out and it sounds really good. Great job.
Thank you.
Because we're almost out of time, I'm gonna just take questions. Does anybody have questions about voiceover in particular? Yes, can you come up here just so I can't hear anybody because it's so loud.
How did you specifically get into voice acting?
So for me, I have already been training in acting in theater. So I've been like doing it since I was like in middle school, and then I also studied it in college. And then for voiceover, I kind of just accidentally I kind of discovered it. I was watching anime and I really thought that I wanted to be a part of it. And a friend of mine told me about a voice acting competition that they used to have at Anime Expo called Idol. It's a little different format now, but at the time I made it as a finalist. And the prize, if you won, was that you would get to go to the studio and audition for them. And I didn't win, but they liked me enough that they brought me in. So a lot of it I kind of learned on the job when it came to voice acting, because it has a lot of the same kind of fundamentals as just like any kind of other kind of acting, but you just have different technical skills when it comes to like staying on mic, so that if you move, it sounds different than if I'm on mic, right? So, like as a voice actor, you have to kind of learn about where your boundaries are with the mic, how much you can move, and also, especially for like something like dubbing, you have to be able to read a script and also kind of look up to make sure that you're matching the timing of the mouth and stuff like that. So, yeah, so for me, it was kind of a weird thing because I had studied, I'd been training in acting for theater, and then I kind of just switched over to voiceover and learned on the job, so.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions? Anybody else have a question? Yes.
Hey, double check with Jason Baker. This is fine with
How many judges should we expect when we're auditioning for something like 1, 3, a whole course?
It kind of depends. I mean, at the time when I did it, which was a long time ago, it's almost 12, 13 years ago. At the time, it was 3 judges. For the more recent ones, I feel like it's at least 1 or 2. But those are handled a little bit differently, because it's not just one winner. A lot of times they'll just kind of invite people that they think would be right for certain projects. So in that sense, there's no just one person that wins.
And also kind of a follow-up question, is there a voice actor union? And if so, how do we join it if we get a job?
Good question. So there is a union. Voiceover is in with it's with part of SAG-AFTRA, and so that's where all the TV and movie people are also a part of. To get into it, it's a little weird because you have to work 3 union jobs before you can join the union. So you have to be cast in a project that is a union project. They tap partly you in because you're not a member yet. And after you do 3 of those, then you become a must join. Then you pay your member dues and then you join, pretty much.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So, I was when you were mentioning your other casts that you do. I play Audition. I play Fairplex.
Yes.
Actually, a Marianne's fan myself. But you mentioned that you worked in a River City Girls, and I actually looked at you, and I love that game.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were Sabuko at the end of it, and how do you put yourself in a role like separate? Marianne is a very different character than Sabuko.
Yeah, so for that, it's like how I approach like the stuff today. You get like a character breakdown. Sometimes they'll give you a picture, sometimes you won't, but you'll mostly get like a description, and then like like your audition lines. And for me, I just kind of had to reach down to like a part of me that was a little bit more
Aggressive.
Yes, she's very tough, and it was a very new thing for me because I don't play a lot of tough characters, and it's always fun to take on a challenge like that. So you kind of have to think. For me, I had to think about, okay, what was her upbringing like? So she's a yakuza. Her father was a yakuza, so she's been in her family line. She's always been around like tough people, so she has a tough personality. And then I have to think about like what's happening, and then she's run this like yakuza syndicate for who knows how long. She's been like and then all of a sudden she gets these two high school girls that think they can just like charge in and defeat all of my minions. So there's a lot of like build up to like what my motivations were and how I approached her.
Okay, thank you. Also, if you guys haven't played River City Girls, it's amazing.
Please do. It's a hard game. How much time do we have left?
2 minutes.
How much time do we have? 2 minutes? Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? No? Yes.
What was a memorable moment or funny moment that you had in the booth with other voice actors, just off the top of your head?
So like a lot of times I rarely get to record with other actors. A lot of times it's just like solo in the booth. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so a lot of times, I don't know how to like say it. So for me, I have trouble in the booth when it comes to holding my laugh in, because like working with like a director like Patrick Seitz, like he directed Fire Emblem, Three Houses, and Marianne, my character, is very stoic and very sad most of the time, and like in between, he would give me direction, but the way he would give me direction was really funny, so then I would kind of break character trying to focus while trying to do my line. So he'd be like, okay, you're gonna say this thing, and then she's gonna get really embarrassed, and she's gonna get scared, and then she's gonna like, and then she's gonna just like, leave, Marianne, out, and then I'm like, okay. So he would do a lot of that. He would just kind of like joke around just to keep the energy up, because if you're recording for like 2 to 4 hours, where she's just kind of constantly like this, you're eventually just kind of, So I appreciate working with directors that kind of keep the energy up and kind of joke around. Gosh, now I'm like on the spot and I can't remember because there's so many like really great moments. There's one story that I always tell all the time, and it was when I was working on. So it was working on Blood Lad, and the director had me say a line where he wanted me to put a break in my voice, like you're going through puberty, and he was like, or as I call it, a pubic break, and I thought it was like so funny. I was like dying, and then I had to recover, and I was like, I know maybe it wasn't that funny, but I found it hilarious. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, one last question, because I know you had your hand up, and then we have to end, unfortunately.
Ow. Any tips to take care of your voice?
To take care of your voice, it's so important, because you will lose it, and then you can't work, and it sucks. It's definitely happened to me. So for me in particular, it's always really important to warm up before any kind of like audition. You can stay here, you can move back out of this bench. But warming up is really important, especially if you're gonna have like a video game session where it's just like all screaming. You're gonna need to warm up, otherwise you're just gonna lose it for the rest of the week and you're not gonna be able to work. I personally like to drink peppermint tea because it doesn't have a lot of caffeine in it for when I do recordings because it doesn't drown my voice out. And it's like kind of warm and it keeps your muscles kind of relaxed. And also like after a long session, it's always important to warm your voice down. So like you're warming up and then you need to relax your muscles afterwards too. And a lot of people don't do that and like don't know about it. So it's really important to warm down. Like a technique that my friend had taught me that is like a singer's technique is to actually use a straw and blow bubbles into like a cup of water, and it just kind of like without sound. You can either hum or you can just do it without sound, and it just kind of like opens up your vocal cords and like kind of relaxes them. And so that is my tidbit for today. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I'm sorry, I wish I could have gotten a lot more of you up here, but we only have the hour. But you guys did amazing, and thank you all so for being here. I'm sorry you all had to stand, so. But have a great time. Thank you.